39-36. While Judge Barbara Perez has it 39-37. All for the winner by unanimous decision, Crown Jewel.
You know it's AB, always balling, always boarding, a lot of bills. You know what's going on, man. You know, shout out to Crown Jewel Boxing, man. You know, my people. You know, they get it in over there, straight up.
Lamar Peterson giving a shout out to CrownJewelBoxing.com.
What's good, YouTube? Crown Jewel from Crown Jewel Boxing, back with a gem. Well, it's fight week. Devin the Dream Haney against Ryan King Garcia in Brooklyn, New York. And once again, you know, Jules Stradamus called it, although it wasn't that hard to call. I said from the very beginning, when this fight was announced, they were going to have a tough time selling tickets, especially being as though the fight was on the East Coast. And, you know, that has come to fruition as the ticket prices have been slashed less to in half. Less than a week out, you can still get a ticket almost anywhere in the arena. You can get several tickets together, like usually this late, if you are able to score a ticket. If you're going with a group, you guys are going to have to sit separately. You can find 8-9 seats next to each other. You can buy a whole row in some sections right now, which is really unfortunate. And a lot of people think I hate Devin Haney. I really don't, and I actually feel really bad for him in this situation because his boxing skill indicate that he should be a bigger draw than he is. But there's a couple reasons why. There's a reason why he's not, and there's a couple reasons why this fight isn't doing well. And I'll tell you both of them. The reason why the fight isn't doing well is the obvious. You have two West Coast fighters who have fan bases from out there, but aren't transcendent superstars. So they're not the type that can go anywhere in America, i.e. a Gervonta Tank Davis or a Deontay Wilder, and do good numbers. They just don't have that type of following. They don't have that type of crossover appeal. Another reason, the fight is being promoted by Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. And as somebody who's been closely connected to the boxing community on the East Coast for pretty much all my life, I can tell you that Golden Boy Promotions has a history of not doing well with their shows in this area. Case in point, there was a stack card years ago. Lucas Matisse and Lamont Peterson fought here in Atlantic City, and they had Sean Porter on the undercard, Devin Alexander on the undercard, Anthony Peterson on the undercard, Jamel Herring and Robert Easter on the card. Just a really, really stacked. Sakio Biko on the undercard. Just a stacked card. And also there was another stacked card here. Gavin Rees had a fight in Atlantic City, as well as Bernard Hopkins. And just several marquee names where Golden Boy had promoted. And I don't think any of those fights, with the exception of, I think, Bernard Hopkins and Antonio Tarver, sold more than 4,000 tickets. So Golden Boy just doesn't do well over here because he doesn't have a team on the ground here. And to me, I just think he's not willing to pay to have people who are on the ground promote the fight for him. So that's part of it, a huge part of it. You know, Golden Boy just does not promote well on the East Coast historically. Number two, Devin, I think, hasn't become that transcendent star because I think he's greatly handicapped by his father. What do I mean by that? First of all, I want to make clear, Devin Haney is not a charity case. He's done very well for himself. His father has got him to a level in the sport of boxing and in life that most people only dream of. So let's get that out the way first. But it's clear and evident that Devin Haney wants to ascend to the very top of boxing. They frequently speak about him being one of the Mount Rushmores, and you know, he wants to be the face of boxing. He wants to be a huge draw and a huge star. And I think what's preventing him from that, a large part of what's preventing him from that, is not his talent at all. It's the fact that his father's out front and is the spokesperson for him, when in today's society with social media and all the access that people have to the actual athlete, people want to hear from the fighter. Nobody wants to hear from the trainer. Nobody wants to hear from the dad who's not actually climbing into the ring. Even promoters are not as vocal as they once were because the fighters are speaking for themselves. So if you have a problem or think your fighter has a problem with communicating with the media and you try to protect them by speaking for them, you're much better served by getting the media coaching and turning them loose, because the only way to become that star is for the people to feel a part of your career, to feel connected to you and to feel they know you. And I don't think that happens with Devin because, again, his father is out front and more visible with regards to the media than he is, and I think that hampers him a great deal. So if he's going to become that star, you know, first of all, they got to talk different. They got to stop being so braggadocious and bold and overt in their trash talk, because it does not match his fighting style, number one. And number two, we got to hear from Devin instead of Bill. But that's pretty much all I have. I knew the card wouldn't do well. Unfortunately, it's not good for boxing. It doesn't bode well for a mega fight between himself and Gervonta Tank Davis, which I would like to see, because it just doesn't make that fight very marketable. Right now, he's going into this fight as the B-side to Tank's B-side and Ryan Garcia. And in that fight, it's not going to do well. And I know he's not going to be willing to eat much crow in regards to negotiations with Tank. He's going to price himself out thinking he's a bigger star than he is. And this fight and the lack of success is had to this point is going to be a great disservice to him in the negotiations with Tank. So, you know, I just think it's bad for boxing. I wish it wasn't the case, but in order for this to change, you know, him and his father are going to have to learn something from this and realize that nobody wants to hear from his dad. Boxing trainers, and I'm a boxing trainer myself, you know, we're not the stars. Boxing managers are not stars. And in today's day and age, boxing promoters aren't stars. The fighters themselves are the stars. People want access to them. They don't want to hear from anybody else. So in order for, you know, Devin to ascend, again, he's got to step out front. He's got to allow his dad to go back behind the scenes and work and be a little less visible, a little less vocal. I'm not saying he can't talk at all, but he should not be more visible than the fighter. For now, that's all I have for y'all. Until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.